You ever wondered why the more your business scales, the more your life's hell? It's because 90% of roofing companies and home service business owners are the biggest constraint in your business. Look, I've been the biggest constraint in my business every step along the way. From 0 to 1 million, 1 million to 5 million, 5 million to 10 million, 10 million to 20 million, 20 million to 40, 40 to 60. I'm gonna go through the key leaders you must hire to get to each stage of the scaling roadmap. And you're gonna get a copy of my scaling roadmap and understand that it's not about how to execute, it's about who. It's always about who, not how. These are people that you develop or recruit into your business to fill these leadership roles, and I'm gonna break it down step by step. Let's go. What's up, guys? I'm Haight. I'm the guy that's coaching roofing while running a real roofing company. In the last 5 years, I've done $195 million, but my clients have gotten $400 million in results. People call me the blue collar millionaire maker because I've had 7 companies scale and exit their company for over 8 figures. And I'm about to break down the biggest problems that roofing business owners, home service business owners have. Who should you hire first? What's the first person you should do? I'm asking you this question. Do you think you hire a recruiter? Do you think you hire a sales manager? Do you think you hire a production manager? What if I told you the answer wasn't any of those? You'd be mind blown. The executive assistant is the most important first hire because the owner can sell, but you can't scale while you're doing all the administrative tasks. You need someone every single night when you're completing the offers, following up, dealing with your customers, to be the CEO of your inbox. A lot of times, if you're out there selling jobs, you can forward your phone to your assistant so that you don't have to be interrupted. Now, when somebody takes the phones, is answering the text messages, is answering the inbox, then you're freed up to do everything that it revolves around sell, build, collect. Now, there's so many things that are important about scaling to the next level that an executive assistant can help you with. Following rules on a CRM, that means making sure that all the leads get entered, that there's pictures in every single file. This should start the right way from the beginning so that when you start to bring your own sales guys, that you have a standard operating procedure for them to follow. And when you're out there selling your own jobs, dealing with all the calls, driving down the road, we're men, we're not organized. And a lot of times you hit this point where you can't sell anymore. You get so much anxiety that you have to go to just building your jobs, to just laying on grenades. And that's why, like, especially when you're doing insurance, every job has got to have depreciation, which whenever I was new at the first 0 to 1 million, having somebody to help me make sure that the invoice got there, that the supplement got there, that there was someone following up on the insurance company or the invoice so that I didn't have to stop selling to do that. Now, when you have a good executive assistant and you don't have to do any of these things, it takes somebody who does 53 and 1, and it allows them to just sell. That one guy can sell more than 2 million easily. And so with just one good sales team, a door-to-door, one good sales guy, and an executive assistant, there's no reason why you can't do 2 million in sales and make like close to $1 million in profit, because like you spend a little money on ads, you spend a little money on executive assistant, but you don't need any overhead for an office when you're just $1 million to $2 million company. And so this is sometimes the sweet spot where all you need is an executive assistant, disciplined to a CRM, and giving away control of your inbox and calendar, text messages and phone, so that all you do is sell.
Roofing business owners, I challenge you to a duel. No, I'm just kidding, man. I want to help you double sales in the last quarter of 2025 and set your company up for private equity exit in 2026. Just last month, I did a 100 roof challenge. I literally sold 80 roofs personally out of my truck in 30 days. And if you're a roofing business owner, a sales leader, or in sales, I am challenging you to add 100 roofs to your company before the end of the year, and I'm gonna tell you exactly how to do it. We're doing a private WhatsApp group, and we're doing a live Zoom training where you can ask me questions, and inside of this call, I'm gonna show you what I learned in my 80 roofs in 30 days challenge. Now, I didn't hit the 100 roof goal in 30 days. However, I did do 53 insurance deals and 26 loans. Join me in this challenge, and it shows that even a CEO with a $50 million plus company is not afraid to go in the streets, drive his truck. I call it the General Lee's war wagon approach. It's the setter, it's the closer. Sometimes I set the deal, sometimes I closed it. But I filled up my Cadillac Escalade with multiple salesmen every day, I went through the old leads, I worked over the phone, and I'll break it all down inside of the group chat, inside of the Zoom. This is completely free. It's going down. Click the link below to register. Can't wait to see you inside.
Level 2, your executive assistant evolves. My favorite thing to do is to take somebody who's really organized, who knows the system and knows you, and to train them to do a little bit more. Now, between $1 and $3 million, one of the biggest problems is all the cleanup. The job files are missing things. There is tons of different calls that have to be made. So following up on the customers, cleaning up your files becomes a full-time job. The reality is that making sure that you have your CRM set up, making sure that all the macros are connected for the material and labor costs, that we can properly estimate the jobs, that we can properly, once you get to $1 to $3 million in sales doing insurance, have invoices in on time. The reality is that this person is literally a COO in training or a director of operations in training, and understanding how it works from the ground up is important. But as you really start to scale, you start getting a sales team, you got more people. This executive assistant is also making sure that the sales team is onboarded in a CRM and that their files are clean. The truth is that as the guy who was the $1 million producer first, you're gonna help her a lot manage the sales guys. But if she's really good being the executive assistant, but you're holding on to all the production things, like you order the materials, you do the jobs, this is the problem, because at this point, when you're at $1 to $3 million, you need to take the next step, and the next step is the guy that's gonna lay on the grenades in production, who's gonna order the materials. It's your next hire, and it's very important. I've met so many people that were stuck because they could only sell so many jobs, but they couldn't get this one person, and this person is a production manager. So this is level 3, and the production manager is a guy that maybe isn't that good at sales, but is good at customer service, that knows the roofing business and is good with the CRM. Typically, it's someone who can be familiar with the roofing process, a sharp, young Latino guy that grew up on the crew but knows CRM and can speak good English, can both speak to the crew and can understand your business vision, and takes real pride in how you put a job together and how you build it right. These are the type of people that you can grow in production. When you have a production person and you're just getting started out, you can't pay them a lot of money. They might start at a $60,000, $50,000 base and have an opportunity to learn. The more jobs they produce, the more they save you money with cost of goods, the more they're able to get 5-star reviews. But the production manager helps you not have to have the phone calls from every time that materials are needed on a job, every time a customer is complaining about what needs to be fixed on a roof. This can be now handled by the production manager, who orders all the materials, who pays all the crew payroll, and who makes sure that SOPs are followed on every job, getting statement of completions and making sure that you're picking up checks when that final nail is driven. And so this production manager is actually like a real COO in training. And if this guy can also help you teach the sales guys how to do the back end of the job, how to build, collect, keep up with the customers, then he's an extension of the sales team, because we're selling through good production and 5-star reviews. So if you've got a good production manager, that allows you to really fill the role of sales manager at first. Your job should be running a recruiting funnel, bringing people in, not just organically, but through paid advertising. And every single week, whether you do a weekly Zoom call, you're bringing people in to train them until you have so many jobs, you have so many people that your top sales guy, you obviously want to keep him selling. But the reality is that the top sales guys, and any sales guys, sell more when people are watching. The idea that sales guys and winners attract more winners means that you should try and turn everyone into a leader. And the sales manager, they may come from your existing sales team. If they come from another roofing company, they have to prove themselves first before you make them the sales manager by doing $1 million in business with you. But the perfect way to do it is to have your top sales guy get trained in leadership. And what is his role? His role is going to be to spend a certain amount of hours in recruiting to bring a sales team. Run your weekly 10-day boot camp with your new guys. Go through the field generalship necessary to lead people hardcore door to door. Show up to the office every day for the door-to-door church and training, and literally report to make sure all the leads are run, all the deals are followed up on, and that the sales guys are following up with box reviews. And so when you're trying to get to the next step and you don't have a sales manager, it looks like the owner's selling his own jobs, the sales guys aren't getting the attention they need, nobody spends time in recruiting, and a lot of times the guys that are onboarded don't actually make it. And so the reality is that we should be focusing on onboarding guys that generate their own leads. The setter closer model is how it works. But sales managers should be paid commission. And a 50-50 rep, like let's say the guy was able to sell $1 million with you and he was able to earn up to 50% of the profit. At my business, they're paid an override based off of their book of business. So when we recruit new guys, they're an extension of their book of business. And so it's a strictly commission-based job that they have roles they have to do. There's no salary involved. They get a 50% commission, and the 5% rep, the 7% rep, the 10% rep, they're paid out of the sales manager's commission. That means if there's a problem on the job, problem collection, problem building, it's the sales manager's responsibility. So creating the sales manager and the production manager, step 3, is the foundation for $10 million in sales. Good builds with good communication and 5-star reviews leads to 2-3 recruits, referrals per job. A sales manager that follows the recruiting process is able to onboard 5 new recruits a month and retain, let's say, 2 or 1 new rep a month. Even though that's a small number, that's growing your sales team and getting those guys to do 53-1 4 days a week, to show up on game day Saturday and knock doors, to share all their wins on the group chat and tag each other on social media. You'll start to organically grow. And this is the secret to getting to 10 million in sales. It's not ads, it's not some special formula. It's mastering the sales system, it's mastering recruit, hire, train, retain, and it's delegating these 2 roles, production manager and sales management, that gives the owner real time. And once you do this, you have a $10 million company making $2 million or $1.5 million in profit. You have a business that someone can step into and buy. This is the point where I want to buy a lot of businesses. And once you get beyond this, it can get a little bit more complicated. You have to do a better job with your core values, job descriptions, accountability pieces. And once you start getting more managers, you start to layer in and it cuts into your profit. And so I do believe there's a sweet spot in roofing, and it might be maximizing the profit from 1 sales manager, 1 production manager, 1 office admin, a team of 10 to 20 sales guys that are capable of producing 10, 12, $13 million in sales at maximum profit. Level 4, this is when your company is going from 10 million to 20 million plus. And typically to go to 20 million, then you're gonna have multiple locations. Your top sales manager that's got a team of sales guys and has grown to develop both in selling, building, and collecting the jobs. And now he's got his own team, he can follow the recruiting process, he can duplicate. So he goes to a new market and he builds. And this is sort of how you get to 20 million, is you have a general manager, and typically with general managers, they're able to make a percentage of the profit of their book of business. For me, I want to create everything off of EBITDA, off of profit, but as you start to scale to 20 million, you have insurance, you have a lot of depreciation to follow up. You have a lot of supplements to follow up on. You got more collections and communications. I just want you to know that at this stage, going from 10 million to 20 million, one of the most important key hires was our customer collections or customer care director. This is a girl named Shira. She was no experience in executive leadership, but she came on, first started in collections. We needed an extra hand collecting more money faster from insurance companies and following up on supplements, but she took charge of solving problems and she developed. And the reality is that her ability to be in charge of customer care, which means we communicate with the customer throughout the entire process. We set our terms, clear terms, make long friendships and 5-star reviews, and we get our money when that last nail is driven. And this is a development point that really helps, because you can't really scale a big roofing company without having a lot of problems, and sometimes things don't go perfect in roofing, as a matter of fact, a lot of times. So this is the person that is really grown to be a very integral role. For me, getting a collections head and department head, so important. One of the other things that comes at this level is at $20 million, you gotta have someone that's running all your marketing systems. And this is someone that's key, running all the lead gen campaigns, running all the recruiting campaigns, making sure your social media is getting posted out. And this is a position within the company that really should have complete brand alignment, 100% dedication. And as I sit here explaining this to you, I just think about, this role is very important. So outsourcing this role to consultants mean that you must be very clear with your expectations, job descriptions, and accountabilities. And even if you bring in a chief marketing officer or you outsource it to a marketing agency, you need to put the proper budget in place. You have to understand the most important metrics. That is going to be the cost per lead, cost per appointment, your booking rate between the two, your cost per acquisition, your average ticket item, and your average profit per job. This is really the thing that a COO looks over. And as you get to this point, you'll be developing who is that number 2 guy that really cares about the profit and can see all these things, whether he comes from production or he comes from accounting, or maybe she comes from the customer care side. We have to understand that sales drives all money all the time. But in roofing, it's not about what you sell, it's about what you collect. So building a big team, going to 20 million means that you develop a plan for general managers, guys that run their own stores. For me, once you do $5 million in sales, you earn equity and ownership in the mothership. And once you're able to recruit your own team, bring them in, then I'm gonna give you a percentage of profit plus the equity that you add to my company. And for me, giving a salesman to equity opportunity for general managers was a real big thing for other people to want to come into my business. And so if you're watching this right now, this is beyond most of roofing companies. They don't get to this point, but to get to the next point, you're gonna be needing some key people, and this is the last step. Now you're at level 5. You're going from 20 million to $40 million. You're definitely a platform business. And at this stage, it's so important that you know your numbers, you have a good CFO, and you have sort of an accounting department. So the CFO is in charge of the accounting department, and if it's not a CFO, it's just a really sharp accountant. The reality is numbers mean so much at this level. A $20 million company making $3 million in profit is arguably worth about 25 million or more dollars. And so it's really not about what you sell, about what you make. And so the other aspect of this is when you have multiple general managers, multiple locations, you have someone that needs to lead the sales managers, someone that needs to lead the general managers, and getting alignment of the entire sales team and marketing team and everything in line sort of takes one VP of sales, and this guy sort of takes responsibility. Now, hiring all these higher level executives, it's got to be based on your core values. For me, personal development, speed, integrity, excellence, innovation. If you can't use a computer, if you don't think about how to use a computer, don't understand tech, you're probably not going to get into this role. More importantly, you have to protect the house, and for that means like anytime that you care about yourself first more than the company, then you're probably not going to get into this role. The VP of sales, he is responsible for total sales metrics. That means total doors knocked, total leads set, total deals done. And there's a simple weekly call that we do where the sales managers are held accountable, where we have midweek accountability checks. And just doing this by itself has really driven the accountability level in my company. And the VP of sales, they can't be leading from an ivory tower. They obviously have to direct and coach, but they have to be very familiar with each step of the process. And getting from 20 million to 40 million, it's this, whether it's CFO, COO, and Vice President of Sales, these 3 hires, where the COO is really focused on, when you're doing more than $40 million in business, leveraging the best deals from suppliers, the best deals in all your vendors, how you're going to lower your cost of goods overall, how you're going to improve your efficiency times, increase profits, address key problems where you can squeeze profit and improve quality customer score. This is your COO, and a lot of times they can be hired from within accounting or production. A lot of times I've found good luck bringing these people in from other industries, but giving them a lot of time to prove themselves, and not just giving these people these titles right off the rip. You want to fill these roles once you get to this point, and you want to just put a title on it and give someone a title before they deserve it. But that sort of messes up the culture in your business more than anything else. And so one of the keys for me, 20 to 40 million, Vice President of Sales, Director of Operations or COO, and my Chief Financial Officer. Those are the 3 hires that allowed me to get to $60 million a year organically. This level is the biggest level I've gotten. Now, to get to 100 million, improving my marketing system, my COO, my Vice President of Sales, it really was a foundation and a transformational switch in my sales process, because if your sales process is broken, meaning you're dependent on insurance companies to get paid, you're dependent on insurance companies for approval, then it doesn't matter how well you scale all these positions, your business model is broken. The answer is insurance to retail. Now we get loans or cash on 90% of the jobs. We get paid in full when we're finished, and we give ourselves a chance to win. But if you're trying to scale a roofing company and it's who, not how, that is the difference in your business. And I'm telling you, I've been there, I've done that. I've hit 60 million, gone backwards, and I'm better redefining myself in these tough adversity situations. So why not learn from my mistakes, learn from my solutions? I've gotten 400 million in results. There's been at least 50 companies go from like 1 or 2 million to 10 million, and at least 7 companies sell their company for multi-million-dollar exits. My company's done 195 million. In the last 5 years, my top year, I made just over $5 million in EBITDA. And I will tell you, the growth process is painful. You take 3 steps forward and sometimes you take 2 steps back. But then you evaluate what worked, what didn't work, and you reiterate a new solution. So many of y'all are afraid to go backwards. You're afraid to hire the wrong person. You're afraid that someone gets close to you and isn't the right fit. Well, guys, if the business is all about getting the right person in the right seat, you have to try this first. You have to create leaders as the most important objection. And if you want my help scaling through these blocks, creating leaders, I can show you how to build the leaders from within the team, how to recruit the leaders from the open market, and how to have a system that attracts top talent so that you don't even have to look for these guys. I left the scaling roadmap in the comments. If you get a copy of the scaling roadmap, you can see where you're trapped. More importantly, if you feel like I can really help you out, I want you to schedule a call. I'll personally talk to you, find out the holes in your business, and see if you're a good fit for my scaling acquisition. See if you're a good fit for our Mansion Mastermind. We have a tour of our office and a 2-day overhaul on my complete scaling blueprint. This course is an opportunity for you to meet some of my key leaders and most successful people in our community. Look, click the link below, apply to join, because it doesn't just come with the Mansion meetup. We have weekly sales training calls and 4 virtual scaling workshops for you to attend. So click the link below, schedule a call. We look forward to helping you out. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe and comment any questions that you have below. Thanks a lot. Till next time, we're out.